Hi you guys, it's Mrs. Behrens. I have your science lesson for Wednesday, November 4th. Today we will be making our terrestrial food chain wheel. The materials you will need are this sheet of white tagboard. This came in your materials pickup that you got last Wednesday. You will also need a pair of scissors and one piece of tape. Before we begin cutting, let's see what we notice about this sheet. When I look on the wheel, I notice that there are 4 categories listed. Those are producers, consumers, should turn it, there we go, consumers, scavengers, and decomposers. All 4 of these categories play a unique role in the ecosystem. Think about the ecosystems that we've been studying in our science unit and what plants or animals might serve as producers, consumers, decomposers. I'll be asking you to reflect on that question at the end of this assignment and to use this wheel that we're going to make as a tool. Let's begin. Take your scissors and you are going to cut out the circle, the large circle here, and this piece down here. Do not cut these tabs off because you will use that. Alright, I have cut out this piece and notice that right here in the center, this says cut out. So you're going to want to cut out that slit as well. Alright, so that looks like this when it's ready to go. Now I'm going to cut out the wheel. Just like that. And you will also cut out the center piece here. One way to get that cut started is to gently fold it in half, cut out a little square there, and then that will allow you to cut out the circle in the center. Okay, I am ready to assemble my terrestrial food chain wheel. You will take this sliding piece and put it on top of the wheel like that. Notice that the shape matches up with the white part on the wheel. So you're going to line that up, and then you will fold both of the tabs around the back side, just like that. And your last job, second, there we go. Your last job is on the back to place a piece of tape right on there to connect those 2 tabs. And now you are ready to use your terrestrial food chain wheel as a tool. Take a moment to play around with it. Slide the slider onto each of the 4 categories: producers, consumers, decomposers, scavengers, and notice what disappears on the wheel. Think to yourself, what would happen to the food chain if the producers were destroyed? What if there were no plants, no producers? What would happen to the ecosystem? What would happen if there were no decomposers? Ask yourself these questions. Interesting. We know that all parts of the ecosystem are connected. They are dependent and interdependent on one another. That means if we remove one piece of the ecosystem, all of the other pieces are impacted. Your job today is to respond to a question using this terrestrial food chain wheel. At this time, I would like you to grab your science notebook and a pencil. Open up to the next blank page. Put the date in the corner. It is 11/4/2020. And you will title this entry Terrestrial Food Chain. Your page should look like this right now. Once your science notebook page looks the way that mine does, you are going to respond to 2 questions in your notebook. The first question: what is the impact of removing producers from an ecosystem? And the second question is up to you. You get to choose one other category from this wheel to remove and respond to. So the second question will be, what is the impact of removing blank? And that will be your choice from the ecosystem. Your science notebook will look like this. Pause the video now and copy these questions into your science notebook entry. Once you have these questions copied down, fill in this blank. You can choose consumers, decomposers, or scavengers. Choose one that you want to focus on and think about. Fill it in right here, and then answer the question. What is the impact of removing that part of the ecosystem? Both of your answers to your questions must be at least 3 sentences. At least 3 complete sentences. That means that you are using capital letters, punctuation, that each sentence reads the way that we would speak, that it makes sense, rather than writing in fragments or incomplete sentences. Once you have answered these 2 questions and thought about how an ecosystem might change if you remove producers and another piece of the ecosystem, take a picture of your entry and submit it to the assignment in Schoology.